The number of military suicides hit a record high in 2012. According to recently released Pentagon numbers, 349 soldiers took their own lives.
That's more than the number of troops killed in Afghanistan last year. News 8's Jenna Traum talked to a combat veteran who has been struggling with depression and thoughts of suicide since returning home.
Lisa and Mark, Army National Guard veteran Nate Harder tells me when he was deployed in Iraq for a year, he didn't have time to think about what he was going through. It wasn't until he returned home that he realized just how traumatic combat had been.
2 soldiers in Nate Harder's unit were killed while they were deployed together in Iraq. But with their names engraved in a silver bracelet he never takes off, they're always with him.
Losing a friend, that hurts. And it's not really a friend, it's more of a brother.
But it's not his only emotional scar the deployment left behind.
You get put in situations where you have to shoot, you have to do a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't do, and it screws with your mind.
The weight of what he'd been through didn't hit him until he returned home in 2005.
I drank non-stop. Every day I drank. I just didn't care about life. I didn't care about anything. And it sounds so stupid because, I mean, you just went through all those life-threatening situations to come back to kill yourself. That's pretty stupid now that I look at it from my point of view now. But back then, I mean, you feel like you don't have any options.
In 2012, a record number of soldiers acted on those feelings. 349 committed suicide, more than the 295 who died in combat in Afghanistan that year.
Obviously, there's a serious problem there, and we're seeing it has been on the rise within the VA system as well.
A clinical psychologist at the VA clinic in La Crosse, Anita Grana, says while asking for help seems to some vets as a sign of weakness, it actually takes a lot of courage.
Anything that stays hidden is not going to get fixed. And people tend to avoid dealing with what hurts. You know, that's not human nature. And yet that's the worst thing you can do if you want to heal it, is to avoid it.
Harder says he was saved by his family and his brotherhood of fellow soldiers, even though the suicidal thoughts never fully go away.
It's always going to be there. Your depression's always going to be there, but on the same token, you're always going to see the other side, your family, your kids.
And that's worth soldiering on another day.
Although the military suicide rate is still lower than the civilian rate, it's important to mention last year's number of military suicides was the highest since the Pentagon started keeping track in 2001. Every branch of the military showed an increase from the previous year.
Thank you, Jenna. Now, any veteran who wants to reach out for help can contact the Veterans Crisis Line. You can call the number on your screen or visit veteranscrisisline.net.